Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rahukakodash, double underselled apostles, a great millstone that do rule well. Peace, love, and blessings also to you, brothers on highways and byways. Giving all diligence to make it calling, election sure, and also blessings to the very few sisters out there that are listening, learning, and believing. I'm that fellow Abe Kanakla, coming at you once again with another lesson, Lord's will, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai. It's lessons edifying and exhorting. And this will be one of those lessons, basically, going into the works of faith and the works of the law. All right. Now, we know when Yahushua was on the scene, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they gloried in the works of the law. Okay. And through the spirit, Yahushua, basically, and the apostles, all right, was trying to tell them basically we're not under the law because we couldn't keep the law. All right. And one of the greatest examples was Abraham. Okay. Before, circumcision, his faith. All right. He was circumcised in the heart. All right. Because he believed. Okay. So, it's a big controversy among the so-called, I would say, so-called Israelite community. And also among the so-called the religion of Christianity. Okay, the Christians say the law is done away with, and basically you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, which is false. The law is done away with, not under the law, but we do reverence the law as we'll come back to Romans 7, but get a quick precept, Romans 3:31. It says, do we make void the law through faith? God forbid, yea, we establish the law. So that's a cut on them. That's all you need is that precept on them. So we do have to follow the law, all right, to the best of our ability, I should say. Okay, it's especially the dietary laws, things you should be eating and things you shouldn't, you can eat. Okay, things you can't eat and things you can eat. All right, those are all easy things to follow. Adultery, stealing, killing, all those things are capable of, being accomplished. Okay, so that's on that. And then, we're going to get basically with these Israelites, certain groups out there, they glorify in the law. All right, the law, the works of the law. So we're going to start, basically the title of this lesson will be pursuant to Romans 7:6, as it says, we serve in the newness in the spirit and not in the oldness of the letter. Okay, so this is Romans 7 from the top. It says, and I'm only read to about the seventh verse. It's Romans 7:1. It says, know ye not, brethren. Who is Apostle Paul, brethren? So who is Apostle Paul talking to? Romans. Let's go to let's start from the top. We can read right there. Romans 9:1. It says, I say the truth in Hamashiach, Yahushai. All right. It says Christ, but his name is Yahushai. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Yahushai for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. So his brethren are the Israelites, and it says according to the flesh. Okay. So no matter what you may look like, okay, if your bloodline goes back to so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you are an Israelite. But it's according to the flesh, your seed line according to your father. If it go back to Israel, you are an Israelite. But once again, we have established that it's according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises. And who was given the law? The Israelites. The Lord didn't give the law to no other nations. Okay? So when we talk about Jew and Gentiles is talking about the Israelites, okay, who lost their identity. All right, one of the major incidents that took place was Hellenization, all right, under the Greeks, starting with Alexander, of course, his father, Philip, but Alexander wanted really put that influence of the Greek customs upon the whole world. So this is Leviticus 26 and 46. And it says, these are the statutes and judgments and laws. Once again, what Paul said in Romans 9, the who obtain adoptions, the giving of the laws, etc. It says, these are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. So this is just between the Lord and his people. Okay, so let's go back to Romans 7. Okay, and I'm going to kind of go through this pretty quick. Don't want to make this video too long. So back to Romans 7. So we understand who Paul is talking to. Romans 7 and 7. It's like it's 7 and 1. It says, know ye not, brethren, the Israelites, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. Okay, and that's a rhetorical question. For the woman which hath a husband is bound by the law to her husband as long as he liveth. Because originally before, all right, Moses gave the bill of divorcement. All right, he introduced that to Israel. The woman was bound by her husband until he died. She couldn't marry unless her husband died. Okay, but with the bill of divorcement, that kind of changed. But originally, a woman was bound by her husband until he died. All right. It says, for the woman which hath a husband is bound by the law to her husband as long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. That was the only way she could remarry. All right. Is if it's her husband died, then she will be able to remarry and marry another. Okay. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress, and that's how that would go. All right. If her husband was still alive and she married another man, she would be considered an adulteress. And according to the law, the adulteress and the adulterer is supposed to be put to death. It says, but if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. So is using the law as example. All right. The law of a woman being married to a husband as example to the nation of Israel and the actual laws and statutes commandments. Okay, it says, wherefore, my brethren, ye also are become dead to the law by the body of Yahushai. All right, which is another reason why Yahushai had to be crucified. He had to die because he came, all right, in the flesh as a man of the ground through the seed. Okay. And he fulfilled the whole law. All right. So him fulfilling the whole law, he was the law, man. He was the walking embodiment of the law. So he had to die, man. Okay. And that's what loosed us from that law. Let's get 1 Corinthians 15 and 40 real fast, and we're gonna read through this because there's a lot on here. 1 Corinthians 15, and we'll start at 40. It says, there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. Simple things, celestial bodies. All right, you get the word ceiling, meaning of the sky of the heavens. The ceiling, it's up in the air. Celestial bodies was the glory of that. You don't get sick, you don't feel pain. All right, you don't have to eat, you don't have to use the bathroom. All right, as the angels. And bodies terrestrial, the glory of and it says in bodies and terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one. It just named that. And the glory of the terrestrial is another. The terrestrial, you're on the earth. You get to taste nice foods, drink wine, have sex. So it's glory between the celestial and the terrestrial body. Okay? It says there's one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon and another glory of the stars. All right? Because all of them have their glory. They're set in their positions. Okay? They also serve a purpose. The sun serves a purpose that the moon can't do. The moon serves a purpose that the sun can't do. All right, and they're all for their appointed times. The sun rules the day. The moon rules the night. So if the sun just always stayed up, what would the night be? All right, we got to sleep. you know. It says, and the glory of the stars, and for the star differeth from another star in glory, so also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in incorruption, it is raised in incorruption. Okay? It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. All right, consider all these things concerning Yahushua. Okay? It was sown in dishonor, but he was what? Raised in glory. Okay? Yahushua, man, he was put to shame. But what? He was raised in glory. It is sown in weakness and raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. Okay? It says there is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit that was not first, and if you can receive it, Yahushua was Adam. Okay? So we're talking about the same man here. It's howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and after that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthly, and the second man is the Lord from heaven. All right? And as the earthly, such are also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such they also that are heavenly. Okay, so Yahushua coming, all right, being born of Joseph, okay. He was crucified. He embodied the law. He died. Then what? He was risen and made a quickening spirit. All right, read 45 again. It says, so is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. All right, Yahushua being that last Adam made a quickening spirit. All right. Now, that body was risen. And now he went to the heavens, man, and he received that body. All right. Lord willing, we receive it too. So let's go back to Romans 7. Okay. So it says, Romans 7:4 says, wherefore, my brethren, ye also are become dead to the law by the body of Yahushua. And how is that? We being joined to Yahushua by our faith, us believing him. So we're dead to the law by the body of Yahushua. Yahushua embodied the whole law and he died. So now we're dead from the law. It says that ye should be married to another. And who's that another? That one that was risen, that quickening spirit. All right. It says that ye should be married to another, even to him who is raised from the dead. So it's talking about the same. All right. The same person. All right. It says, even to him who is raised from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto the Most High. So those good deeds, man. All right. Even to him who is raised from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto the Most High. And how is those works? All these works of faith, man. Okay. Those are those good works. Those are those fruits. Okay. This ministry, what we're doing, because it's all based off of faith. Okay. It says, for when we were in the flesh, the motions of sin, which were by the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death, man. Because we just couldn't keep the law in this corruptible flesh. Okay. It says, but now are we delivered from the law? And the only way we was delivered, Yahushua had to die, man. He had to be crucified. Okay. So now we're loosed from the law. So, but now are we delivered from the law, that being dead wherein we were held, that we should serve in newness of spirit and not in the oldness of the letter. So no, we're not moving by the law. All right. Not in the oldness of the letter. We're not under the law no more, but by the newness of spirit. Okay. And let's get a few examples of that. This is Matthew's, because somebody newness of spirit. Let's get a beautiful example. Matthew 16 and 17. All right. And we'll start it let's start at 13. Matthew 16:13. When Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, others Jeremiah's or one of the prophets who shows reincarnation. Because Elijah, Jeremiah, or one of the prophets, they were already dead, man, long gone. Okay, so people knew about reincarnation back then. It says he said that was like common knowledge of reincarnation. It says he said unto them, but whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the anointed, the Son of the living power. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. That's one example, not under the letters, but by the newness of spirit, because that wasn't written. That wasn't written in the letter, okay? But it was revealed unto Peter who Yahushua was, man, through the Spirit. And that's how we moving through the Spirit, okay? Just consider the prophecies, man. The major prophecy, Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, where do you think that understanding came from? By the newness of the Spirit. Yeah, John, he called it a mark, a charagma. He didn't know what that technology was. Okay, so how were we able to understand what the mark was? Because all he said was mark or charagma. Okay, you know, that's what he said. So how do we know what that is today? He didn't say it was an RFID chip, but by the newness of spirit, that's how we're moving. Let's get another example. I believe is in 1 Corinthians 7 and 6. 1 Corinthians 7, verse 6. This is Paul right here. 1 Corinthians 7 and 1 says, now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. To avoid fornication, meaning adultery, okay? So to avoid adultery, everybody have their own, okay? Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one another, except it be for consent for a time, that ye may give yourself fasting and prayer. So defraud, you got a woman or whatever, you take a break from, being intimate together, and so you can lock in the spirit, okay? Because, that kind of throws your spirit off when you are, dealing with a woman on that level. It says, and come together that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. Now, this is the point right here. Once again, by the newness of spirit and not by the letter. 1 Corinthians 7 and 6. But I speak this by permission, okay? And not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself. So you see, I speak this commission by permission, not as commandment. So it's not in the law, but a letter. But he telling you through the Spirit, okay, giving you wisdom through the Spirit, that he wish you be as him. All right? That you don't deal with no woman. That you don't marry. Okay? Because those that are married, as he said, they care for the things of this world, how he may please his wife. And those that are not married care for the Lord and how he may please the Lord. So, according to the law, it don't say in the law that don't deal with no woman. Okay? It don't say in the letter, don't deal with a woman. But he said, I speak this by permission. So through the Spirit and not a commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man that hath his proper gift for the Most High, one after manner and another after that. So that's another example of not by the letter, but by the newness of the Spirit. That's how we move, and by the Spirit, man. Certain orders and things go out, okay, through the Spirit. Those are things, orders coming down through the spirit. Okay, and if you can't get with it, you can't be amongst the body. And somebody be like, well, that's not in the law of the Lord, that we can't do this and we can't do that, or whatever situations came up. But that's through the spirit, man. That's how we move. We're not moving by the letter. All right. I remember, I think Elder Yashwama, he used an example where he was basically like, yeah, you're not, you can't find a law, you breaking the law, but basically, dude, like, the shit that you're doing is uncalled for. All right, it's not wise. I forget exactly how he put it, but he's like, dudes be like, technically, I ain't going off. It's not in the law, But hey, the spirit is speaking, man, and that's how we moving by the spirit. Okay. Next one I'm going to get is St. John. Lord's willing is edifying, man. I know I'm kind of going through it kind of fast, but I don't want to make this video too long. St. John 16 and 13. Did I get this one? Yep. So St. John 16 and 13. It says, howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. All right. That's how we have the understanding of these breakdowns, man. Okay. This is of these prophecies. So he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. Okay? So that's pretty much it on that. Let's go back to Romans 7. We'll close out here. Romans 7. Okay, so we'll read verse 6 again. Romans 7 and 6. But now we are delivered from the law. So us being delivered from the law is that being dead when we were held, that we should serve in newness of spirit and not in the oldness of letter, because we're married to the one that has been risen. Okay? We're married to him, to the one that has been risen, and that's not by the law, but that's through faith. Okay, so we got to serve through the newness of the spirit. We serving the Lord by the spirit. As I say, they shall worship me in spirit and truth. Okay. But to clean it back up again, kind of another precept for Romans 3 and 31, Romans 7 and 7. And we'll close out with this. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. So you wouldn't know what was right and what was wrong if it wasn't by the law. What pleased the Lord and what displeased the Lord if it wasn't by the law. Okay, so we can't void the law. It says, for I had not known lust, except the law said, thou shalt not covet. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're moving. I say that we should serve in newness of spirit and not in the oldness of the letter. Lord's will knows that. Till next time, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Shalom.